in the next lesson on what people usually do. I guess this is the first time I'm going to be talking about defining done. This has actually already been, anyone following the courses knows this has already come up a few times, but so let's now talk about that very important subject for a little bit. What characterizes a global definition of done?
Um, it's a definition of done that was created for the entire organization, if you will. Right? Typically in a software development organization, there's a lot of different teams doing different types of work, etc. And so, in my experience, what I've seen when companies create a global definition of done is they try to come up together and get everybody involved together and say, okay, let's create a definition of done that's going to capture everything that we need to do for software development. And usually what that means, it's not focusing on the what needs to be done for that particular piece of functionality to be created. It tends to focus on the process and the kind of engineering standards that need to be followed. Things like code reviews, test automation, architectural reviews, etc. Things like that, right? And so, by the nature of it, it's just essentially it becomes this thing that tries to capture the necessary pieces of your software development lifecycle. It's more about engineering process and standards quality. So that's what I see as a global definition of that. At least that's been my experience.
And how can you make sure a definition of done includes a mechanism for enforcement? And I really like the way you described that, a mechanism for enforcement to make sure, it's all well and good to have a definition of done, but it doesn't really matter in the end if there isn't kind of like a systematic enforcement of these definitions.
What we um what we do is we add essentially we add two things. One, we add a gate where we say that if you have not met the definition of done, then this work item isn't done. Right? Sorry, I know it sounds kind of. But then if you go into detail, say, well, okay, how do you know that the work item is done? Well, what we do is we add essentially, we add checkboxes into, we document every single aspect of the definition of done, everything that actually needs to be done to call this work item done. All the work that needs to be completed, documentation created, test automation done, which of the different scenarios need to have been implemented, what functionality need to have been created, etc. So we document all of that in our understanding of the definition of done, and then we actually use that as a checklist. And we make sure, and then this basically it's this responsibility when the team commits a work item into implementation, they're also agreeing to that definition of done. Right? So as part of the definition of done, we use the essentially RMF to actually create a shared understanding and agreement on what that definition of done is. We built that out, and then we track completion of that. And the gate at the end to accept that is, have you actually have you satisfied this what we call micro contract, right? Of all of these different criteria that we had agreed upon, have you completed all of that? And if you have, then you've satisfied the contract and we can move on, right? You can accept it. If not, then you're not done.